Yo, I just got some information myself, man, because it was strange to me that every month he's going up for a bail hearing, and I know that seems strange.
Yeah, but so there's still, I mean, it's crazy too because there's still more happening in the court. Like, I mean, everything is still active, even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore, and the people may be fatigued, like we talked about prior.
Diddy, once celebrated as one of the most influential figures in music and entertainment, now finds himself at the center of a scandal that's quickly becoming one of the most shocking in celebrity history. With mounting accusations and a looming federal indictment, his empire is on the verge of unraveling. Yet, according to his former bodyguard Janine Deal, Diddy might not be behind bars for much longer. In a recent explosive interview, Deal reignited public interest in Diddy's case, sparking new questions about how the rap mogul, once known as the king of bad boy records, is navigating his way through the justice system. The drama surrounding Diddy continues to unfold, leaving many wondering if he'll manage to avoid the consequences of his past actions.
Money, and they got lawyers that can come up with different reasons and different information and present it to the courts that they are able to get how many bail hearings, as long as you got different information to present to the court, different evidence.
Janine Deal, who was once closely tied to Diddy during his prime, didn't hold back when discussing his former boss's current predicament. "I've learned a few things myself, man," he said, reflecting on the situation. He went on to express his disbelief at the ongoing legal process, commenting, "I find it odd that he has to appear for a bail hearing every month," shaking his head in frustration at what he saw as the absurdity of it all.
So you got to realize he got a lot of money. He still got a lot of money because he's paying these high-profile lawyers to take this case. So in having them to take this case, they're able to construct a lot of information together to making sure that when they go to the courts, they can say, "Yo, Your Honor, listen here. This is something that's changed. This is something that's new. This is something that's..."
At the heart of Diddy's legal strategy is the power of money. Despite being behind bars, his wealth and influence remain formidable assets. His legal team, reportedly costing him an eye-watering sum each month, has been working tirelessly, presenting argument after argument in an effort to secure his release. According to Janine Deal, this level of relentless legal maneuvering is only possible for someone with Diddy's financial resources. So, what exactly is Diddy's defense team arguing this time? One of their main points centers around his treatment while in custody. Deal revealed that during an unexpected search of Diddy's jail cell, officials allegedly confiscated critical legal documents. The defense claims this violates Diddy's rights, arguing that he cannot effectively prepare his case if his legal briefs and materials are being seized. As if that wasn't enough, the defense also contends that these searches are being carried out unfairly, possibly with the intent to intimidate their client.
Like, he might get bail. Now you're wondering why I'm saying that. See, they are trying to use some of the things that happen to criminals all the time, or inmates all the time. They always, brother, they always do those impromptu searches.
But the prosecution is standing firm, presenting a very different narrative. They argue that Diddy is exploiting his wealth and status to manipulate the system and interfere with witnesses. According to the prosecutors, Diddy has been using other inmates' phone cards to make unauthorized calls, which is a clear violation of prison rules. They couldn't help but mock Diddy for his apparent recklessness. "He's probably the smartest, dumbest person I know," one prosecutor remarked, laughing. "He has to know those calls are being taped." The prosecution is using these violations to bolster their case, arguing that Diddy cannot be trusted to follow the rules if released on bail. They contend that his actions while behind bars suggest he's a flight risk, and worse, might continue tampering with witnesses, further undermining his credibility in court.
This particular case, they said that when they did impromptu search, well, they took some of his legal information, and the judge ordered them to give that back. So I guess the lawyers are going to come up with a couple of new things saying that he can't properly, have his case
Then there's the issue of Diddy's alleged do list, which was reportedly discovered during one of the cell searches. According to sources, the notes included instructions for a family member to gather damaging information on two of his accusers, a discovery that has only intensified allegations of witness intimidation. While Diddy's legal team vehemently denies that the notes were intended to obstruct justice, the prosecution has seized on this as further evidence of his attempts to manipulate the case from behind bars.
That to be true. I believe that they went in there just like they do all the other inmates based on the information they had. You gotta realize this, bro. They found out that Diddy was using other inmates' phone cards. Now that probably happens all the time.
The stakes couldn't be higher for Diddy. If convicted, he faces the possibility of a life sentence, and his legal team is pulling out all the stops to secure his release. One of their latest proposals suggests placing him under house arrest in a luxury Manhattan apartment with 24/7 monitoring by private security. According to his lawyers, this arrangement would be even more restrictive than his current jail situation, as it would limit his phone access, restrict visitors to only family and legal counsel, and require regular check-ins with federal agents. Couldn't go anywhere, Janine Deal remarked, seemingly acknowledging the reasoning behind the defense's proposal. I don't think there's a pilot out here who'd fly him unless he's paid under the table, and he's one of those Colombian cartel guys.
A whole forestry of next week, because what they did was they held off whatever the procedures was going to go down today. The judge said he's going to revisit this next week. So I guess, I don't know if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll find out what's going on. But it's going to be something that I think it may shock.
However, not everyone is convinced. During a recent court session, the judge expressed concerns about whether the proposed conditions would be enough to ensure Diddy's compliance. The prosecution wasted no time in pointing out the flaws in the defense's argument. There must be some degree of confidence that the defendant will adhere to the terms for them to be adequate, said prosecutor Christy Slavic. The defendant just cannot be trusted.
Oh, so he might get out.
I think that he shouldn't be out if a third of the information that they got, is be out. But
even Diddy's behavior while incarcerated has come under scrutiny. Reports have emerged suggesting that he has repeatedly violated prison rules, including using unauthorized inmate identification numbers to facilitate three-way calls and send messages. While Jenny and Deal confirmed these claims, he argued that the reports were exaggerated, downplaying the severity of the allegations.
see, this is what people don't understand about the federal government. This is what the people don't understand about the Southern District of New York. When they come and get you, when they decide to lock you up, they already won their case.
The big question remains, will Diddy finally be granted bail? According to Janine Deal, a decision could come as early as next week when the judge is expected to rule. However, even if Diddy is released, his legal battles are far from over. The charges against him are among the most serious ever faced by a celebrity of his stature, and the prosecution has made it clear that they intend to pursue the case with full force. For his part, Deal believes Diddy's chances of walking free are slim. If a third of the information they've got is right, he shouldn't be out, he said bluntly. And he's not alone in this belief. Many legal experts have pointed out that the Southern District of New York, which is handling Diddy's case, has an incredibly high conviction rate. When they come and get you, they've already won their case, Deal added, echoing a sentiment shared by many who have faced federal charges. If you think anything different, you're wrong.
Millionaire. He's a multi-millionaire. If he wins this case against them, look at all the business that he lost. Look what they made him look like in the public eye. He could bankrupt. He could bankrupt the government.
But what about the wider ramifications of the case? For years, whispers about the darker side of Diddy's empire have persisted, with allegations of abuse and exploitation simmering just beneath the surface. Now those accusations are being thrust into the spotlight, and the fallout is intensifying. the entertainment world is already feeling the ripple effects of this scandal. What was once an aura of untouchable success around Diddy now threatens to engulf not only him, but also everyone connected to him. From his former business partners to the A-list celebrities who frequented his exclusive parties, no one seems immune from the fallout as this case unfolds.
Already won their case. He's gonna have to plead guilty to something. Maybe the guns. It may be the trafficking. It may be some stuff they found in the tax evasion. It may be charges that we don't even know about. But he's gonna have to plead guilty to something which get them off the hook.
As Diddy's legal battle intensifies, it's clear that this saga is far from over. His legal team is fighting relentlessly for his release, but the prosecution is equally determined to keep him behind bars. With new allegations and evidence emerging only daily, the situation only seems to get more complex. Will Diddy once again outmaneuver the system, or has his luck finally run out? Time will tell. For now, all eyes remain on the courtroom, where the fate of one of music's most controversial figures hangs in the balance. But if you thought the first part of this legal nightmare was wild, buckle up, things are about to get even more intense. Behind the scenes, as Diddy's lawyers work to secure his freedom, rumors and whispers have taken on a life of their own. The focus is no longer just on Diddy, but on the powerful and influential figures in his inner circle. With allegations this explosive, the collateral damage is bound to spread. Some of the biggest names in Hollywood and the music industry are now starting to feel the heat. Among the most tantalizing rumors swirling around the case is the idea that Diddy may be in more danger than anyone realizes, danger from his own inner circle. For decades, Diddy has been privy to a web of secrets involving not just himself, but a network of celebrities, politicians, and high-profile business moguls. If there's one thing powerful people despise, it's being exposed. And some speculate that those closest to Diddy might be more focused on silencing him than on defending his innocence. If he were to start speaking, the fallout could be catastrophic, not just for Diddy, but for everyone connected to his infamous parties. These parties, once seen as the stuff of gossip columns, are now central to Diddy's legal troubles. Described in court documents as elaborate and secretive gatherings, these events were allegedly the domain of the rich and famous. Held in mansions and luxury hotels, the parties seemed innocent at first, but as the night wore on, the atmosphere reportedly shifted into something much darker. Former attendees have claimed that these late-night affairs weren't just about fun and excess. They were tightly controlled environments where certain activities were encouraged, orchestrated, and even documented. Now, as more details emerge, the question isn't just about what happened at these parties, it's about who was there to witness it. Legal arguments will likely center around claims that the activities were consensual, with participants assuming the risk by attending. But the true nature of these gatherings was more sinister, as some insiders suggest they were designed to keep people loyal and indebted to Diddy, ensuring their silence about what went on behind closed doors.